Welcome back, folks. Today we're going to tackle a topic that has sparked some serious outrage and controversy across the country. We're talking about Elon Musk's latest plan to dump the treated water waste from his boring company tunnel project into the Colorado River. Yes, you heard that right. One of the most precious natural resources in the United States is at risk of being contaminated by the waste produced by one man's boring project. Now, before you start throwing tomatoes at your screen, we want to know what you think. Is Elon Musk taking things too far with his plan? Or is he simply doing what needs to be done to make progress? We've gathered some reactions from Americans all over the country, and the responses are heated and passionate. So buckle up and get ready for a roller coaster of emotions as we dive deep into this hot-button issue. Are you ready to join the conversation? Let's get started. Before we go into the reactions, let's cover some things first. Like, let's understand what the Boring Company does. What is the Boring Company? Elon Musk's Boring Company has been making headlines since its inception in 2016. The company's goal is to alleviate traffic congestion by building underground tunnels for high-speed transportation. But while the concept may seem exciting, the Boring Company has faced its fair share of controversies and setbacks. One of the most significant controversies surrounding the Boring Company is its plan to dump treated water waste from its tunneling operations into the Colorado River. This plan has sparked outrage among environmental activists and concerned citizens who fear that the water waste could have negative impacts on the river's ecosystem and the communities that rely on it for drinking water. In addition to this controversy, the Boring Company has struggled to retain employees and has faced criticism for its working conditions. Former employees have reported long working hours and a high-pressure work environment, leading to burnout and turnover. Despite these challenges, the Boring Company has also achieved significant milestones. It has raised over $675 million in funding and opened its first tunnel on Hawthorne, California in 2018. The company has also developed its loop technology, which aims to transport vehicles at high speeds through underground tunnels. Critics of the Boring Company argue that the technology is too expensive and impractical, while supporters believe that it could revolutionize transportation and alleviate traffic congestion in cities. The debate around the Boring Company's viability and impact on the environment and society is ongoing. The Boring Company is a company that has generated both excitement and controversy since its inception. While the concept of underground tunnels for transportation may seem futuristic and exciting, the company's plans and operations have faced criticism and opposition. Only time will tell whether the Boring Company's technology will revolutionize transportation or become another failed venture in Elon Musk's portfolio. What kind of water waste can a company like the Boring Company generate, and is it possible that it can be treated enough to not be harmful to the environment or the people? The Boring Company has been a tunnel construction company. It is unlikely that the Boring Company generates any significant amount of water waste. However, they do generate wastewater during construction activities. It is possible that it can be treated enough not to be harmful to the environment or people. The type of wastewater that a company can generate depends on the nature of its operations. For instance, commercial and institutional buildings such as office buildings, schools, stores, hotels, restaurants, and others can generate significant amounts of water waste. Facility managers, building owners, tenants, and other stakeholders can improve waste management in their buildings, reduce costs, and enhance sustainability by using tools and resources available. Similarly, wastewater contaminated with human, agricultural, and industrial wastes can become a valuable resource with sludge-to-energy systems. Organic matter contained in wastewater can be turned into energy rather than being a nuisance. On the other hand, produced water from oil and gas operations is wastewater that can contain dissolved mineral salts, organic compounds such as acids, waxes, and mineral oils, inorganic metals and byproducts, trace amounts of heavy metals, and naturally occurring radioactive materials. Produced water must be treated before being discharged into the environment to prevent harm to people and the environment. Additionally, industrial solid waste such as cafeteria garbage, dirt, gravel, scrap metals, trash, oil, solvents, and chemicals can also be generated by businesses. Such waste can be categorized as hazardous or non-hazardous and should be managed accordingly to avoid harm to people and the environment. So it is possible to treat wastewater generated by companies and make it safe for the environment and people. However, it is essential to manage waste appropriately and use available tools and resources to reduce waste generation, enhance sustainability, and reduce costs. Is the Boring Company really planning on dumping treated water waste from its tunneling operations into the Colorado River? The Boring Company has actually applied for a permit to dump treated wastewater from its tunneling operations into the Colorado River. The permit would allow the company to release up to 142,500 gallons of treated wastewater per day, either directly into the river or onto their site. The proposed discharge has raised concerns among some residents of Bastrop, Texas, who worry about the potential impact on the environment and water quality. The permit request has also garnered attention from the media, with several news outlets reporting on the issue. However, it is important to note that the permit has not yet been approved, and it remains to be seen if the boring company will ultimately be allowed to discharge treated wastewater into the Colorado River. What are people's reactions to this? So there's this farmer in Bastrop, Texas named Steve Hype, who's feeling pretty anxious about the potential impact of Elon Musk's infrastructure company on his landscape tree nursery. Hype's concerned that he won't be able to use pond water without harming his trees, and he expressed this concern to the boring company's environmental consultant. He made sure to let them know that his farm is just a small family-owned business, unlike the larger company. Some other residents in the area share Hype's concerns and are worried about what will happen to their drinking water and the local vegetable and rice fields if there's any underground water contamination from the new site. They don't want to end up like Austin, where even throwing a ball into the river for your dog can be dangerous due to pollution. They are also questioning why a company that's owned by an environmental advocate like Musk wouldn't recycle wastewater instead of dumping it into the Colorado River, which is different from the Colorado River in other western states. Many people, including Bastrop's Mayor Connie Schroeder, are asking Musk's companies to pipe their wastewater into the public system instead of disposing of it themselves. At a recent hearing, some people felt that allowing the boring company to control its own wastewater was a reasonable compromise for the city to host such a high-profile corporation. The boring company's goal is to build zero-emission tunnels for electric vehicles, but they have only completed one such project to date. However, others are concerned about the potential risks associated with the company's wastewater disposal methods. Ron Whipple, the treasurer for the Bastrop County Water Control and Improvement District, acknowledged that large companies in housing developments often generate wastewater and dump it into local creeks and rivers. He stated that where there's people, there's going to be wastewater, and that we can't stop progress. Some residents expressed their support for Elon Musk and his companies, while others expressed concern about the potential environmental impacts of their activities. One resident, Sean Hensley, asked state environmental officials to reject the boring company's wastewater permit, unless Elon Musk and his kids are going to come swim in the Colorado River every day. Bastrop farmer David Barrow emphasized the importance of following proper procedures and obtaining permits when engaging in business activities. He stated that there's no reason that rich people should come in and do whatever they want to do and then ask forgiveness. Everyone else gets permits and goes through the system. Chap Ambrose, a resident who lives near the boring company's construction site, plans to challenge the permit with state environmental authorities, stating that he does not trust the company to build public infrastructure based on what he has observed. Rajiv Patel, the environmental consultant who filed the permits on behalf of Gapt Bass, one of several limited liability companies owned by Musk's companies, addressed the crowd at the hearing. He attempted to ease concerns by stating that the majority of the wastewater would come from residential use, and that the company plans to eventually pipe wastewater into the public system and hand the treatment plant over to local authorities. The boring company did not send leadership officials to the meeting to speak on its behalf. TCEQ officials declined to specify the penalties Musk's companies might face if they violate the permit's limits. The maximum administrative penalty for water violations is currently set by law at $25,000 per day. Whipple expressed confidence that state regulators would ensure the river remains safe, emphasizing that the wastewater would be treated. He noted that there's a lot of fear, but it's treated wastewater. People are leaving out of the treated part. And that's a wrap, folks. We've delved into the controversial topic of Elon Musk's plan to dump treated water waste from his boring company tunnel project into the Colorado River, and the reactions we've received from Americans that have been nothing short of explosive. Some of you are outraged and appalled, while others believe this is just a necessary step in the path towards progress. Whatever your opinion may be, one thing is clear. This is a conversation that needs to be had. The fate of our natural resources should not be left in the hands of one man, no matter how innovative and brilliant they may be. As we move towards a more sustainable future, it's crucial that we continue to question the impact of our actions and hold those in power accountable for their decisions. Thank you for joining us on this wild ride of controversy and conversation. We can't wait to hear your thoughts and opinions on the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and keep the conversation going.